OnePlus 11R. Back in 2023, this phone made waves as one of the best value for money smartphones around, delivering near flagship performance with just a few modest trade-offs. But now, after spending a week using it as my daily driver in 2025, I'm here to share how it actually holds up in real-life use. I took it out, tested the cameras, the display, and pushed it as my primary phone, just to see if it's still worth considering or if time has revealed its weaknesses. But even if you're not looking to buy it, keep watching anyway, because you're gonna love the vibe of this video. From the moment you pick this device up, you can feel that OnePlus put some serious thought into how this phone should feel in the hand. The curved back with its matte glass finish offers a premium touch, though it is a little slippery. And even though the frame is plastic, you wouldn't even know it's plastic until someone told you. And that big circular camera module? Yeah, not my favorite, but it makes this phone recognizable. And the only real nitpick? The slightly larger bottom chin on the display, but unless you stare at it all day, it's easy to ignore. You're looking at a 6.74-inch AMOLED panel with a 120Hz refresh rate. It's bright, and I have to say, it still feels incredibly smooth. But it's not just about the numbers. The real magic is in when the UI interacts with you. The animations are so fluid, and the subtle haptics make the entire experience feel alive. It's one of those things that you don't fully appreciate until you go back to a device with weaker haptics and choppier animations. Watching content on this display is a joy. It's prominently curved, punchy, vibrant, and has great contrast. If you love media consumption, this screen will not disappoint. It peaks at 1450 nits, but who cares about the numbers? Just know this, it's a damn good screen. Then there are the bugs. The camera viewfinder has this very frustrating bug where it randomly flips upside down. And no, this isn't due to the auto rotate setting because every other app functions normally. It happens every now and then and happens unpredictably. And I've missed many shots just because of this stupidity. Anyways, during my time with it, when it worked, the main camera delivered vibrant, punchy images. But unlike its more premium sibling, the 11R lacks Hasselblad tuning, and it shows. Photos have that signature OnePlus look. Bold, colorful, but sometimes overprocessed. Highlights tend to get blown out, and shadows, they crush a little too much. For a more natural look, some manual tweaking is definitely needed. And for that matter, there's a pro mode in the camera settings. A lovely addition if you know how to make the most of it. Portrait mode is surprisingly good. Edge detection is accurate and the cutouts look clean. The ultra-wide camera, on the other hand, let's just say it just exists. At 8 megapixels, the quality takes a noticeable hit, and switching between cameras forces the resolution to drop from 4K to 1080p. And the macro camera? Yeah, I wouldn't bother with it. The photos coming out from this lens gets you close enough to the subjects. But these are too soft to the point where, I don't know about you, but I won't use them. When it comes to the software, I'm not a fan of how OnePlus has handled OxygenOS. It just doesn't have the same feel it once did. Instead of the clean, lightweight experience OnePlus was known for, this version feels much more in line with generic Chinese skins. Battery life is a strong point here. Under regular use, social media, a bit of video streaming, the phone comfortably lasts full day without breaking a sweat. And if you're not pushing it too hard, you might even squeeze out a day and a half. But where this thing really shines is charging speed. It's just ridiculously fast. Performance in daily tasks is also really smooth, with no stutters even when switching between apps rapidly. The Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 handles it all effortlessly. And when it comes to gaming, I put it to the test with both high-end and lighter titles. All ran with zero major hiccups at high settings. Multitasking, no problem. Even with multiple apps running in the background, the 16GB RAM, which you can expand even more in the settings, ensures fast app switching, no forced reloads, and an overall seamless experience. Split screen mode runs flawlessly. Now, let's talk about the always-on display. It's got a ton of cool interfaces. You can tweak it in so many ways, from minimal clock styles to dynamic animations. But if you keep it on all day, expect to lose around an hour of screen on time. And finally, the alert slider is back. Honestly, it's such a welcome return. The sheer convenience of switching between sound profiles without diving into settings, hard not to appreciate. The only downside, some phone cases might make it a little tough to reach. Now let's talk about the fingerprint sensor. It's placed a bit lower than I would prefer, which means you have to adjust your grip slightly. That said, it's still incredibly fast and dependable, which is the most important thing. The software lets you add some flair by customizing the unlock animation. From futuristic ripples to minimal light bursts, it adds a small but enjoyable level of personalization. As for face unlock, well, it's almost too fast. The phone unlocks instantly. Even in low light, this thing works at some pretty odd angles too. It's honestly impressive how well it performs. Back to the cameras. There's the cinematic mode, which allows you to record in log format. As you can see from this video, the extra wide cinematic view definitely brings those cinema vibes. The aspect ratio makes footage feel more immersive. But when you apply the built-in effects, there's a noticeable amount of over-sharpening. And then the stabilization, it's not bad, but it's not amazing either. It smooths out minor shakes, but if you're walking or doing fast movements, you'll still notice some jitters. Now, about the front camera, I'd say it's good. Skin tones look fairly natural, but
Here's the thing with this front camera. I'm seeing that there is a lot of artificial sharpness going on, but generally speaking, it's good.
and there's enough clarity to make selfies stand out. But here's the thing, social media apps like Snapchat and Instagram still don't fully optimize for Android cameras, and yeah, the quality takes a hit. But let's be real, this isn't just a OnePlus issue, it's a common trend across every Android phone. So while it's annoying, it's not exactly a deal breaker. If I had to sum up this 4K 60fps video from the OnePlus 11R in a single sentence, as much as I'd love to say something nice, I just can't. So that sentence would be, it sucks. Now, in low light, there's a distinct vibe to the night shots here. A stylized, almost cinematic aesthetic. If you're into that slightly processed, moody look, the 11R delivers. Whether it's landscapes or portraits, the results are undeniably pleasing. Even in portrait mode, it does a solid job pulling in enough light to expose your face properly, making you look good. Selfies though? If you're relying on screen flash, expect to look, well, under the weather. In low light, the videos are what you'd expect. Grainy, soft, and full of artificial sharpening. You'll need a steady hand too, because any movement in low light can lead to blurry faces. Bottom line, moderate users will notice all this. But beginners? Maybe not. So if you're looking at this phone as your primary video shooter, you might want to reconsider. And about that camera bug, I tried everything. Troubleshooting, resetting the app, clearing cache and app data, none of it worked. And yes, I checked for software updates, but nothing. No fixes, no patches. The phone is still stuck on Android 14, even though Android 15 is widely available, and Android 16 is right around the corner. For a company that once prided itself on fast, reliable software updates, this lack of attention to long-term stability is just disappointing. If this were a one-off glitch that could be patched, I wouldn't be too concerned. But the fact that no fix has been rolled out, it really makes me wonder, what are OnePlus's priorities at this point? If any of you have faced similar issues, let me know in the comments, because at this point, it's frustrating. Now, the speakers, and wow, these surprise me. They're loud, clear, and even deliver some solid bass. I actually found myself enjoying the built-in Relax app. It offers ambient sounds for focus, sleep, or just winding down. I never thought I'd use it, but somehow it's kinda nice to have. Another underrated feature, the IR blaster. I didn't personally use it much, but for those who do, it's a super handy tool. So what's the final verdict? The OnePlus 11R is still a solid device. The display, battery life, charging speed, and overall performance make it a compelling option, even in 2025. But the software? That's where things start to fall apart. This isn't the OxygenOS that OnePlus enthusiasts fell in love with. The bugs, the bloat, the slower updates, they're all starting to show cracks in what was once a near-perfect formula. If you already own the 11R and it's working fine for you, there's no urgent need to upgrade. But if you're considering buying one second-hand or at a discount, I'd say think carefully.